In this section I want to speak about my interpretation of the Più Forteza. Fiore tells us how to be stronger using two arms instead of just one. We can find this quite at the end of the section of the first master. So, first of all, we have the first master and his defense. Following the path of the manual, we know that the first master is the first action we have to do. As Fiore writes in his introduction of the book, he says that the crowned master is the point where all the techniques must start. So, breaking down the action, it goes like this. I execute the first master, and when I feel that my opponent is really stronger than me, I can add the second hand to contrast the power of my enemy. From here, after I blocked the attack of my opponent and I blocked his force, I can execute the technique that Fiore writes down. In this clip I let Nicola execute the technique because I'm really taller than him and he performs better than me in this situation. We have to consider that after I block the attack of my opponent, I can still execute other techniques. And this example shows how to mix what we learned before in the first master section with the middle key and throwing our opponent to the ground. Considering the idea that the manual is a pedagogical book on how to learn to fight following Fiore's ideas of fighting, there are some stimulus that drive us to execute some techniques. We learned with the previous exercises how to recognize those actions, and then we can apply them to every situation we find during the fighting. But there are, for example, other solutions we might consider. I think it's useful even to learn how to deflect the opponent's force. When we feel the pressure of our opponent on our arms, we can just pivot on our right side and send the force to our right side and then execute some other actions. For example, there are all the techniques taken from the third master of the Dagger, the one that defends with the right hand. Like I show you here, we can execute an up bar, we can push the opponent to the ground, or I can even strike him with a fist in his face. In the end, I want to tell you why I think it's wrong to go to parry the first intention attack holding your left wrist with your right arm. I think that in this way you come very close to your opponent, and this exposes you to a faster counter remedy. If you go too inside or you go too close to your opponent, you expose too much your left elbow. And this leads to the perfect counter that the master shows us, or even it exposes you to a punch in the face. Another reason, and one of the most important I think, is that we have no chances of knowing with how much force an opponent will attack us. He can be big or small, but we'll never know if he's attacking with full force, if he's trying to make a feint, or whatever is passing in his mind. So we have to rely just on feeling with our arms what he's doing. And moreover, we know that what the master says on how to perform the master and his techniques. The crowned master is the one that leads to all the other techniques, and the Più Forteza is not signed with a crown or a garter or something else. So for me it's logical to think that the Più Forteza is a technique of the first master. I hope this video will help you in some way. and comments are always welcome. Feel free to write down this video and comment and share, and see you next time.